In this lesson, I'm going to introduce you to the Lean Canvas, which you can use to workshop an idea with your customer in mind. This method is useful because when you come to prototyping, you need to have framed your idea from the perspective of the customer rather than through your own lens. The Lean Canvas is a model developed by Ash Maurya as an alternative to the business model canvas, and it's focused on early stage ideas. The Lean Canvas focuses on getting a customer-centered view of the problem, rather than what we all have a tendency to do, which is to fixate on what's good for us as a business and losing sight of the customer. Forcing us to think through the lens of the customer in a quick process is really valuable to us as prototypers. The canvas is designed to be a 30-minute exercise that gets our brains from an idea on a sticky note to, okay, that's great, but why would a customer care? What you see in front of you is the Exponentially app that we use to manage Lean canvases and experiments in the whole process. And we'll come back to that later. But for now, we're going to start with the Lean Canvas. And the Lean Canvas is designed to take around 30 to 40 minutes to complete and put 2 or 3 bullet points in each of these boxes. And you'll notice that the numbers are a bit out of sequence. And this is for a good reason, because what you're trying to do is get your mind away from why is this good for me or us or our company to why is this good for the customer. And this template is designed to push your brain through that process. So if we start with the first one, which is the problem. So the problem is, what is the problem from a customer perspective, worded as, I want to do this, or I've got a problem with this, or I don't like this, or this is an issue for me, rather than the customer or persona. So we're thinking very individually from a customer perspective. We then go across to the customer segments. And with the customer segments, this is at a high level, what are the customer groupings? But what we're more interested in is the early adopters. And the early adopters are the people that are most likely to use your product or service in the first instance in the very early stages. So you want to really drill down into specific types of customers that would use this product in the first place. A way to think about this is who are the customers that have the problems we've defined that are most likely to use this. We're then going to come across to the unique value proposition. And what this is how would you tell the customers about this particular solution that you have for their problem? So think of like a tweet or a marketing catch line. What is the short version that describes why your solution is unique to solve this problem? We then go to the solution. And with the solution, this is what are 2 or 3 bullet points at a high level of how we're trying to solve this particular problem and the elements and components of that. Don't get stuck here on dropping to the technical solution if it's a technical product of how you would execute it. We don't care about how now. This is just conceptually, what could this look like? We then go across from there to the unfair advantage, the 5th one. And this is the only block where we care about our perspective. So as a person or company providing the service, if we did this, why would we win? Why do we deserve to win? What unique capability do we have that would make us win compared to everyone else entering this market? We then skip number 6 and 7. So 6 is revenue and 7 is costs. And the reason we always skip this is because this is your happy place. This is where you can get stuck building spreadsheets and projections and forecasts, and you're making all of this up at this stage because you don't even know if the customer cares about your solution. So we skip this completely so we don't get bogged down here. Of course we care later, and of course we'll come back to this, but for now we're just testing desirability. Does anybody care or want this? We then go to the key metrics. Now with the key metrics, the key metric is we're looking for the one metric here that will go up or down to prove in isolation that this product or service is useful. So what we don't want here is high level numbers like revenue and cost and those kinds of things, because there's too many in there like marketing, etc. We want something that goes, customers will use this twice a week to solve the problem. And that number either goes up or down and keeps you really honest around whether the product or service is working. And then lastly, number 9, this is the channels. So this is how do we get to the customers? How would you get this in front of them? And this is your normal traditional marketing channels like advertising, etc. But think through, what's unique about your product or service and what's a really smart way to get in front of them? So is there some sort of placement you could do? Could you go to where they are and present the offer to them? How would you get to them? So in a nutshell, That's the lean canvas. That's what we go through. I'll take you through an example in a moment to make this a little bit more real. So over to you. Okay, so that was a lean canvas in theory. Let's go back to the second day sushi example and talk through what that could look like inside the lean canvas. So if you remember, a second day sushi is students will buy second day sushi if it's half the price of regular packaged sushi. So let's jump into the canvas. So in this case, we want to start with the problem. And the problem is, from the student's perspective, sushi is expensive. Leftover sushi is wasted, and I'm looking for cheaper food options. So that's 3 bullet points around what the problems are, and there could be others. Across to the customer segments, in this case, it's students, lecturers, and admin staff. But the early adopters in this case that we're focusing on are students that potentially don't have a lot of money. The unique value proposition, the third one, is get second day sushi half price off. Really straightforward, really simple, makes sense. Then we go to the fourth one, the solution. Here it is buy second day sushi half price off. And another part of the solution could be sell half price second day sushi. We then go to number 5, the unfair advantage. In this case, we've made this up, but it's health department approved, of course. And we have a contract with sushi cafes on campus. That makes us unique and locks the competition out there. Remember, we skip 6 and 7 because we're not worried about that right now. We then go to number 8, which is the key metrics. And in this case, it's simple. It's the number of second day sushi units sold. That number either goes up or down and keeps us really honest about whether this is working or not. And then number 9, the channels. The channels here is how do we get this in front of our customer? In this case, sushi cafes, quite obvious. Social media, we could do posters on campus. We could do newsletters. There could be a sushi lovers Instagram setup, all sorts of different ways of doing this. So that's a very quick example of what a lean canvas could look like in practice. And as we go forward in this course, we'll take you through a whole bunch more examples and eventually get you to do your own and help you focus on this to drive and set everything up correctly for when we start thinking about the prototype and what that customer looks like.